Ardea's 100% owned Kalgoorlie Nickel Project, or the KNP, is a globally strategic and significant nickel-cobalt resource located in one of the best operating jurisdictions in the world. The KNP mineral resource is 6.1 million tonnes of nickel and 386,000 tonnes of cobalt. The Goongarrie Hub is ideally located 70 kilometres to the northwest of the city of Kalgoorlie-Boulder and 55 kilometres south of Menzies. Ardea holds around 4,000 square kilometres of tenure in the eastern goldfields. KNP Goongarrie Hub is made up of 9 deposits, with the mineral resource now standing at more than 4 million tonnes of nickel and 250,000 tonnes of cobalt. The Goldfields Highway and Rail network pass through the hub, while the gas pipeline passes just 30 kilometres to the east. 6 of the Goongarrie Hub deposits were the subject of the PFS ore reserve of 1.36 million tonnes of nickel and 99,000 tonnes of cobalt. To sustain production of approximately 30,000 tonnes of nickel and 2,000 tonnes of cobalt per year for more than 40 years. The deposits not included in this PFS have potential to increase life of mine beyond this. Underpinning the Goongarrie Hub ore reserve is over 5,000 drill holes for over 250 kilometres drilled. The Goongarrie South deposit is the jewel in the crown due to preferential weathering resulting in the deep V thick ore zones. Multiple movements in the water table have resulted in silicate minerals being leached out, leaving premium goethite ore and enriched thick intercepts such as 100 metres at 1% nickel. Goethite is best-in-class ore feed. It is free digging and has a low energy input and low acid consumption during processing. Significantly, goethite comprises 69% of Goongarrie Hub plant feed, contributing to the low operating costs. A key consideration in the 2023 PFS was the definition of a number of ore types to allow for a selective approach to pathway through the process plant. The highway deposit 30 kilometres to the north of the plant is an important source of mineralised neutraliser. This material can be used to neutralise plant acid discharge, whilst also contributing to recovered nickel and cobalt metal. This typical cross-section shows the mineralised neutraliser at the base of the laterite profile. This material means Ardea will not have to import limestone and thus reduce carbon emissions. The mining plan and pit designs are based on simple low-cost mining methods with a very low strip ratio at an average of 1.5 for the first 35 years of mine life. The Goongarrie Hub processing plant uses proven technology and comprises of 2 1.5 million tonnes per annum high-pressure acid leaching or HPAL autoclaves, plus a 0.5 million tonnes per annum atmospheric leach or ARL circuit. The ore types are processed separately. The most dominant material is goethite ore. The other important material type is the mineralised neutraliser, which is used to control the acidity in the plant. Ores that contain coarse, low-grade impurities can be upgraded through a simple sieving process. Goethite ore is processed through the HPAL circuit, where acid is mixed with the slurry at high pressures and temperatures to selectively dissolve the nickel and cobalt. Mineralised neutraliser fines and saprolite ore pass through the ARL circuit. Mineralised neutraliser oversize or scats are milled and used in primary and secondary neutralisation. Barren solids are then separated from the nickel-bearing liquor in the countercurrent decant or CCD circuit. The stabilised tailings will be used as backfill for pit voids. All acid requirements are produced on site in the sulfuric acid plant, which also produces waste heat, which in turn is used for power generation and water purification. The nickel-bearing solution from the CCD circuit is purified, then treated to recover the nickel and cobalt as a mixed hydroxide precipitate or MHP. which is then filtered, washed and packed for delivery to the global market. The PFS delivered robust economics with an EBITDA of $800 million every year for 40 years on average, an EBITDA margin of 65% and post-tax NPV of $5 billion with internal rate of return of 23%. The strong revenue and low operating costs mean project payback upon production of just over 3 years. Global nickel and cobalt demand is forecast to more than double in the next few decades. Increased demand is driven by the expanding battery market and geopolitical pressures. Ardea's Kalgoorlie Nickel Project Goongarrie Hub will be a multi-decade operation, which will meet this demand and provide a source of nickel-cobalt supply with high ESG standards expected by the global community.